welcome, welcome, welcome. Come in, come in, come in. So, guys, this is Tamika's Den. I am Tamika. Okay, come on in here, come on in here, come on in, y'all. Get comfortable. So, this is a review recap for American Horror Stories, not story, okay? This is season 2, episode 1. This was cute, y'all. This was cute. I liked it. Now, I don't know what direction they gonna go in, because with these, we have some hit and misses, and some people have not liked the stories as much as they have liked the story. And, even with that one, sometimes we got some complaints going on, all right? But they did start out good in my opinion with this first episode, but I think they had started out good with the first episode in season 1 too, so that may not be saying much. But let's go ahead and get into this. So now we meet, this lady Kobe. We see her. We don't know who she is yet. She's driving up to this factory, all right? And this seems to be, Mississippi 1961. And we have these dolls that have been around since the Egyptians, okay? This is a family business. They make dolls here. And we kind of get in the backstory on those dolls and the meaning of them and what goes into making them and all of that kind of stuff, right? He talks about they even found one in King Tut's tomb. I said, I don't know about all of that, but okay, you trying to sell your product. And, says that they have been a part of the afterlife and, this whole big thing that he is just trying to make it seem like, but what is a doll? It's nothing more than mankind's attempt to finish what, the Almighty began. And so he's basically, saying to forgive him for being a tad bit blasphemous. And he is talking to, this young lady that's came into his office seeking a job. And he says that this is as close to perfection as you could get, and that, this is what God was trying to make human beings. So the lady Kobe is like, oh, so now you saying that God wanted us to be plastic. And then she apologizes, but he was like, no, don't apologize. I like people that speak their minds, say what they mean what they say, and all of that kind of stuff, right? And he sits down and he's looking at her resume, and he's basically, reading all of these credentials she have, and everything is looking good. She's looking like she's actually probably overqualified for this position, okay? She has a great resume, and things talking about she was a valedictorian, she did the debate, she was the freaking master of arts, so, she has a master of arts and all of this different kind of stuff. So he was like, well, you're more than qualified, and things seem to be really going good. And she's saying, well, I'm even more than my academic achievements and all of this stuff. And she can do, things that's tough, and she can apply a lot of things. And if he see fit to hire her, she would be the best secretary he ever had. And she has clerical excellence and all of this good stuff. So 1 minute it seemed like it's going good, and the next minute he's like, well, I don't think that you're right for the position. So she's like, huh? What? Say what? What are you talking about? Like, what do you mean? And he's like, yeah, my assistant will see you out. So we seeing her getting dragged down by the assistant in the background, and the next thing you know, honey, we seeing her laying in the dollhouse. Okay, she done turned into a damn doll. I said, what is going on here? So, and we see 4 other ladies standing around her, and she's like laid out on the couch inside of this dollhouse. So I said, okay, this is going to be an interesting one. So as we get from there, he basically, comes in and lets her know, like, okay, you didn't get that job, but you're going to be here for a different kind of job, okay? And this is one, that we got to basically do in a whole nother way, all right? It's not going to be the clerical one that you thought you was coming in here for. And so she's like, well, what the heck do you mean? What kind of job is this, and where am I? And he basically was like, this is going to be like a competition or whatever the case may be. And she's like, yeah, no, that's not what I wanted to do. That's not what I came in here for, sir. Okay. I wanted the clerical job, so I declined. And basically, he let it be known like, oh no, it's no declining, honey. Either you do this, or the only other way, for you to get out of this is not going to be a good way. It's not going to be the way that you would have wanted it to be. So I suggest, you go with the flow, basically. And so, she's just basically still confused, still looking around. All the other ladies is just standing there looking at her. And she's like, nah, I gotta get out of here. And like I said, he's telling her there's only one way out, and it ain't the windows and doors, okay? And so it was kind of giving me a little bit of Twilight Zone at times too. But he told her, this ain't up for debate, honey. Okay, it's either you stay here and you participate in this, or like I said, the way for you to leave, you're not gonna like it. And so then, he has this assistant, which is the same one that grabbed her up from the beginning, that basically can't hear and has a missing tongue, all right? And he's standing there with one hand, one arm, whatever, and, blocking the doorway. She's telling him, to move out of her way, and she's going all crazy. And I said, girl, pay attention to what's going on in your surroundings, okay? Because obviously all the other girls have been there for a while. They know the routine and what's going on. And they standing there and they not saying nothing. And she was like, I'm getting out of here. And he was like, well, I don't know how you going to do that, but good luck with that. And he says, you're not alone. And so when she turns around, she sees all the other ladies that's standing there, and she's basically like, what the hell is going on? She's still running all around and looking all out the windows and all of that. And she's like, I don't understand. This can't be real. What's happening here? And, grabbing at the gates and saying, hey, come back, calling after them as if they really going to come back. And so the other ladies were stiff this whole time when he was in there talking, but as soon as he left out, they start to take off their mask, and they basically, all are looking at her, whatever. And she was like, what is this? And so this lady, Arola, okay, that's going to be a trip boy, all right, she starts saying, listen, this is not fair. He done brung in another daggone woman, and she gets to start in the middle of the contest. She done missed like 3 damn tests that we had to do. And she's saying, Miss Kobe is like, can somebody please tell me what's going on? And she was like, girl, what's going on? What part you don't understand? She was like, you've been kidnapped by a crazy toy maker who is sick and obsessed with dolls. And now, he made all of this or whatever the case may be. And he's looking for the perfect doll to be a mother to his damn kid, all right? And he got us in this stupid, pageant or whatever. And, you basically got to fight tonight, be eliminated. And so she's still trying to claw her hands on the damn windows. And she's like, please, somebody tell me this is a joke. And she was like, honey, I wish we could, but ain't nothing, jokey about this. We all basically came here for a job. And this is where we ended up at, right? And so then they go in the bedroom and they showing her around the room, letting her know where everybody lays at. And she's still playing with the windows up there. And they're basically saying, there's nothing you could do. And they said, well, Kobe was saying, if there has been many of you that have came, for these jobs and y'all never show back up, people got to get suspicious and the law enforcement got to get involved. One of the girls actually says she didn't come from an interview. She actually was taken from out of her house, and she don't know to this day why the hell she was brought there. So I said, well, dang. So they was like, believe me, you're not doing or saying nothing that none of the rest of us haven't already did. And there's no way out of here. And what he said, as far as that part is the truth. There's only one way out, and you don't want to go that way. And so when she's looking, she basically notices and sees his son that he has or whatever. And they trying to offer her something to eat. She's like, I'm not hungry. And they was like, listen, you gonna need to eat, you gonna need some strength. And so then she comes and sits down, and she's like, asking one of the young ladies, she's like, listen, I saw the little boy yesterday, and then she's like, Otis, and she's like, yeah, how long has he been there? I seen him looking out the window, and where's his mom? So she was like, well, they're gonna tell you that the official story is that she went to pick some damn flowers and she ended up disappearing. And she was like, but what really happened? Child, she started to tell her this story about, well, there's a rumor that Mr. Van Wyck basically had caught her, honey, having a damn affair, okay? And he walked right in on them and caught them. And basically, he decided to do his own punishment on them, okay? And what he did to them was almost too horrible for words. And so basically what they ended up doing was getting thrown down this damn wishing well that apparently had been there since the Cold War or whatever. He used his little henchmen to basically toss both of their behinds down there and kill them. And, it was a very long drop. Okay, and so now, of course, hence why he don't have a wife anymore, and why he's looking for a father for his son. So I said, So, now we get the introduction of his son, right? He come walking in and he have this doll in his hand or whatever, and he introduces himself as Otis Van Wicken, I believe, right? And his father's like telling him, introduce yourself to the dolls, make sure that you show your manners, you know what I'm saying? What do you say? And so he's standing there and he was like, the son told him, I thought we weren't getting any new ones. And the father tells him, well, I changed my mind, And so he come up to the doll and he asks, what's your name, right? And she says, he told her he can't just call her clown doll. And she says her name is Kobe. And so, Kobe the clown. And so he was like, Otis, what do you say? And he was like, oh, I think it's the happiest day of my life. So his father basically was saying to him, like, don't be sarcastic or whatever. So he was like, delighted to meet you, Kobe the clown. I am Otis Van Ritt. So she was like, okay, nice to meet you, Otis, or whatever. And he tells him very good and that he will be back. And remember that when you always treat your playthings with respect. And then he told him, I always do. But as soon as daddy go walking out that house, honey, he turned into a little demon himself, okay? He was like, why do grown-ups always think kids like clowns? And Kobe took him about everybody like clowns. And he was like, no, everybody says that they like clowns, but they really don't. And so he said, I think I'm going to have them throw you away. Too bad for you, right? And so she was like, I could do a trick. You want to see a trick? I got a magic trick. And he was like, yeah, that's another thing. Everybody always think you like magicians too. But I hate them just as much as I like clowns, okay? So that didn't help her the way she thought it would. And so then all of a sudden she able to start making this fire truck move. And he grab it, he looking underneath it to see, if it have anything attached or whatever. And he's like, how did you do that? Do it again. Do it again right now. Now he wants her to sit here and do this trick or whatever. And if she don't, he's basically like, my dad will get you, okay? I will tell him to go ahead and get you up out of here. I'm the heir to the throne, okay? I'm the next in charge, and you will have to do what I say. So he's like, now do it again. So she say, okay, and she do it again, and everybody else is looking like, how the hell is she making this truck moving, right? And I'm like, well, girl, if you got some magical powers, then maybe you could use some of the magical powers and get y'all up out of here, okay? What is the tea? So, basically, of course, now he wants her to do this over and over again because he finds out that, she could do it, right? And then she's just trying to say that it's magic. And so now when he, leaves, you have, the girls upstairs asking her, now, what was that voodoo shit, okay? Ariella coming at her again. And she talking about, oh, my uncle knew magic back in the days and he showed me what to do, whatever. So she was like, oh, okay, well, that's nice. She said, but honey, you going to have to come better than that, all right? She was like, don't butter my biscuit, and and so she was like, how the hell you made that thing move? So she tells her, I don't know, honestly. They were saying, Ariella, what are you saying? She was like, I'm saying she a damn liar. She was like, if you think, what I'm saying, you could come in here and take over everything or whatever, and I got some tricks up my sleeve too. And of course, she's saying she got to be the one to win. And Kobe's asking her, what do you win? Do anybody know, does being the kid's mom mean that you have to be with, what I'm saying, the father Van Rent's wife or whatever the case may be? And she was like, I don't give a damn what it means. That means that it's actually closer to me figuring a way out. And I'll see where she coming from a little bit too, but I'm like, girl, whatever, because right now y'all should be teaming up together to try to get the hell up out of there, period. And so then this bell starts ringing and they tell her it's another test, and they was like, yeah, you got to do more than just be able to play little games with the kid or whatever the case may be, right? And so they come down for this test. And come to find out, basically, they have to be able to set up this table for lunch, right? They have to show that they can do, like, put all the spoons and forks and all of that kind of stuff in the right places, know the names of the different places and where they go. He want to have a setup that is for some type of soup. And, a salad fork, the fork beyond the spoon, all that stuff where the water glass go and all of that kind of things, right? And he says, you're preparing this for a hypothetical meal, whatever, that is going to be like a crawfish cardinal and a Tyrian soup. And so he gives them 1 minute, okay, to have it all done. And of course, whoever doesn't get it right is going to be the next one up out of here, right? And I think he says something about like pies too or whatever. I guess that would be for the dessert. And so he says, like I said, they got 1 minute, and he basically places everything there that they have to use and then tells them, go. And so they get into it or whatever the case may be, and he starts looking at everybody's setup. And it was like, one person had one fork and spoon that was in the wrong place. I think he told them that was 2 points off for that. He told somebody else, like, I'm disappointed in you. You got the towel, folded the wrong way. The girl Kobe had ended up knocking over a daggone glass as she was trying to hurry up and get a setup going. Some things she seemed to know on her own. Some things she was looking over at the other girls to try to get together. They all was kind of looking over. Ariola seemed to have hers down packed. She knew where everything went, so she was safe. And as soon as Kobe had knocked over the glass, that's when he had basically said stop. And so as he's checking everything, the one that was wearing the wedding dress was the one that had got the lowest. And you could see that his side guy, okay, the little henchman, was already ready with this taser out. And he came and basically was ready to taser her and knock her out because she scored the lowest, and she was running and screaming and saying, this is not fair. How are you going to penalize me for something that I really did not know about? I was never taught where these things went by my parents. So she was like saying, it's not fair. 1 minute, y'all. So sorry about that. So nonetheless, she was saying it's not fair, whatever, but he came and he tased her and he basically tossed her behind too. They all jumped up as soon as he grabbed her up and took out the house to see what the heck was going on. And we see that sure enough, she basically got tossed down the the same way they claim that his wife and her lover got tossed, okay? And so that's what happens to you if you do not complete these games and if you do not pass them, all right? So we don't want that to happen, right? And so, she sees what she's up against now, right? And so you got to try your best to make sure that you got everything. And Ariola tells Kobe, like, nothing is going to save you, honey, okay? You could try whatever you want. So we see when the next day comes, she's still there moving this fire truck around. She's basically talking to the little boy, the son Otis. And, she's saying to him, I get that, you're different. I'm different too. And he's saying to her, oh, that's not magic, really, is it? And she says, let me tell you a secret. And she says, it's a gift. And at this point, my son was watching the episode with me, and he was able to peep something about the little boy that I didn't catch. And he was like, but we gonna see if I'm right at the end, okay? So I was like, all right. So basically, he starts to say, she tells him it was something that she was born with, right? And she had it from when she was a little girl, basically was started to be able to use it more as an adult. And she never really wanted to tell her family about it. And he was like, why not? And she was like, oh, she felt like they wouldn't understand. They would basically probably say it was something that was demonic and evil and all of that kind of stuff. And so she kept it to herself. And he was like saying, what would have happened if they would have found out? She was like, I don't know. I just felt like I would have got in trouble. They would have yelled at me or whatever. And so she was doing things wrong. So she said she got out of there as soon as she could. She decided to leave home so she could be free, which is ironic because she ain't free right now. But, she was saying that they're different. And he was like, I'm not different. She was like, well, you're a boy that likes dolls. And he was like, well, what do you have against dolls? She's like, oh, no, nothing. There's nothing wrong with them at all. But I'm just saying, I can tell that, it had to have been hard for you. And plus, you not having your mother and like asking him, do he miss her sometimes? And so he was saying that teachers used to say that he was odd and belligerent. Kids did make fun of him. And that's why he doesn't go to school anymore. And he was asking her, do she miss miss her mom and dad. And she said, well, she do miss her mom singing her to sleep. And so she basically was saying to him that if it was a way that he could tell his father, to let her friends go and to stop doing this, that she promised him she would stay there and be a good mother to him, cross her heart and hope to die. All right. So this is the next thing she trying to see if she could possibly get free, right? And she says, they kind of do a pinky promise or whatever the case may be, that he gonna go ahead and talk to his dad for her. So, you see that night, the father's yelling and screaming on the phone. He's mad because they're telling him about the fact that he doesn't make any money with these dolls, and he's saying his new line is going to be better than anything. He like, forget Martell, forget Hasbro. Yeah, they have Barbie, but so what? That's not no big deal or whatever the case may be, right? And he's saying that they're using these old methods and their dolls is hand sold, and all they need is for more people to find out about them, and the sales is going to pick up and all of that kind of stuff. So then when he slams down the phone, he sees that his son is standing there, and he was like, well, what are you doing up? What's going on? Did I wake you? And then his son tells him he want to ask him something, right? Seems like he was about to say what Kobe told him to say. So his father comes over to him or whatever, and he's basically saying to him how he's doing all of this for him. He wants the best for him. Sometimes life gives you challenges, but as a good Christian, you do what you got to do and all of this kind of stuff. And he's saying that you meet the challenges head on. And he basically was like, when we lost your mother, whatever the case may be, that was really hard. And he decided that he was going to try his best to get the best possible replacement. And she was going to be somebody that was going to be perfect. And he was going to get him the best mommy in the whole world and all of that. And so with him saying this and saying, do you trust me, and do you believe in me? Of course, I want the best for you. Oh, this changes his mind, right? So now when his father is like, what was it that you wanted to ask me or talk to me about? He's like, nothing, I'm saying? Forget it. So he doesn't say anything about what Kobe said to him, right? Because now his father done beat him in the head with the fact that he's finding this most perfect mommy for him. So now when the next day comes, he basically goes back and he's like, okay, time for the next test, okay? And so for this next test, he basically gave them where they had to be able to do this ironing, right? They had to iron and they had to fold these shirts, and they also had to be able to use, this fragrance that some guy had invented or whatever, that you had to be able to make the ingredients the exact way, right? It couldn't be too much of one thing or not enough of another thing or whatever, right? That has to be perfect, as well as you being able to, I think it was something from Dolphin Street Laundry that he said used to be perfect or whatever. And he was like, there's a great importance in the ingredients and in the ironing, right? And so basically it has to have a certain scent. And he was like, you use a little bit of Cavassier and all these different raw, herbs and assorted herbs and things like that. And you got to put the right amount of each thing. And he was giving it, to them to smell and talking about it had a distinct aroma. So I said, oh, Lord, honey, I would have failed that one too. I would have failed both these tests. I ain't even going to lie. And so he gives them 3 minutes for this one, right? And he was like, you make your own solution and you fold the shirts or whatever the case may be. And remember that it is basically folds, not crease, okay? And so he's like, okay, go ahead, start, tick tock, tick tock. And so they all go ahead and they start mixing up their solutions or whatever the case may be, and they start ironing. And so now, of course, he's coming around and he's watching them, and then he's like, okay, time's up. And he starts to go over to them one by one. And, he picks up the first one that had on the green maid's outfit or whatever, and he was like, not enough Cavassier, right? But at least that was the only complaint he had for her. He comes by Kobe, he looks at her, his child Kobe had done starched, burnt the damn shirt, and he said that it had so much starch it could get up and walk, out on its own. And he was like, I can't believe my eyes when he seen the burn. So he take the damn iron and ends up burning her damn hand for her burning the shirt, and was basically, telling her, remember this, all right? I said, child, okay. So then he moves on you know what I'm saying, to the next person after he told her to remember this lesson, and that was Aurelia. And again, she pretty much got it close to perfect, right? He just walks away from her. But then when he gets to the next one, he's like, okay, I said folds. And he was like, this is not enough starch. And then he was like, oof, this smells like a whorehouse. So we see he has several complaints about her. So he was like, let's not even waste no time, get to it. The henchman just comes and stabs the mess up out of her, kills her right on the damn spot. She didn't have a chance, honey. She was trying to run, but she couldn't run any daggone where. That was the end of her. So he was basically like, okay, we have one last test that we have to go through. That's going to happen tomorrow night. And that's pretty much going to be the end of that. You know, I will finally have the mother that is going to be the mother for my son. And so now they're all talking in the room. Well, at least Kobe and you know, the one with the green dress was talking in the room, and she was saying, we got to do something. She said, you know, why don't we jump them? Why don't we try to find a weapon? And Kobe said the same thing I said, you know, y'all should have been thinking about this when it was more of us here. There's strength in numbers. And, you know, here, the only part I didn't agree with Kobe on is she's still talking about some, you know, she's worried about the little boy and she feels sorry for him. So in the meantime, Arella, hating behind, is listening to them talking or whatever. And, you know, she creep her way down the stairs because the other girl was saying to Kobe, like, well, he must like you a little bit. And she's like, no, I don't think he like me. She was like, well, I think he do, because if he didn't like you, then he would have did more than just burn your damn, you know, hand with the iron. And so in the meantime, Kobe go running off like she just thought of something, and she run in the other room that have all the dolls. And Aurelia, however the hell y'all say her name, the one with the black maid outfit that was being a hater from the beginning, she going down the damn stairs, and she basically ends up finding something to use as some type of weapon in the zebra that was in the living room. And I'm like, okay, girl, what you gonna do? You gonna fight your way out? No, she start creeping her behind back up the stairs. And I'm saying to myself, like, I know you ain't about to try to go up here and fight damn Kobe. You seem like you more mad at her than the damn people that kidnapped you. I'm confused, girl. So she's creeping up the stairs or whatever the case may be, and you still hearing their voices talking, and she thinking she coming up to stab Kobe, but she really ended up stabbing this dummy that Kobe has set up there or whatever. And she's telling Kobe when they turn around, they was like, well, what the hell you doing? She's like, oh, I'm not gonna die for anybody. And Kobe's telling her, none of us have to die. And she was like, well, what are you gonna do? Use your voodoo to get us out of here, whatever the case may be? Use your magic tricks? And she was like, no. She was like, we gonna walk right out the front door. And she was like, what are you talking about? This estate goes like 10 miles in each direction or whatever the case may be. And she was like, you know, we at least can have a head start. So apparently she done at least came up with a plan. I'm like, girl, what plan have you got? You know, Kobe telling her he loves dolls, so we gonna leave him dolls. So she's gonna set up these mannequins or whatever the case may be, obviously, to be dressed like them, and then leave them there for him to find. So I said, okay, Kobe, you thinking. So we hearing the bell ringing. Okay, it's time for this test. We seeing little Otis waking up and looking out his window, and he could see his father and Eustace, his little side you know, guy walking with him, his henchman. He could see them walking through the park, and then they come walking in the house or whatever. And, you know, he's over here reading out the Bible, and you see the ladies looking like if they standing in the living room, but they not, right? They really on the side watching them through the curtains. And when they come in the house and she has the chance, she loses her little magic or whatever to go ahead and open the door, and they go running out. But when they get out, this where Kobe loses me at. She talking about some, oh, you know, I want to save the little boy. I want to help him. They like, girl, let's get to safety first and tell the police about it. We could send the police back for him. She like, oh, no, if we do that, then, you know what I'm saying, he may be gone. He may have kidnapped him by then, and we won't be able to help him and blah, blah, blah. So they was like, listen, we ain't waiting for you with that, girl. I'm sorry. We going to go ahead and leave, which I don't blame them. And then she runs to the house to go ahead, so-called save him, right? And so, you know, here Mr. Van Wyck is still walking in the living room, and he's still, you know what I'm saying, reading or whatever, and thinking he talking to them, or so we think, right? And then when he get up close, he see they not moving, they not saying nothing, because he was reading something from the Old Testament, and he like, you know, wouldn't you agree, and waiting to hear some reply, but ain't nothing coming back. And he turned and he look, and he like, well, what the hell? You know, he basically takes everything off and sees that these is just damn mannequins. So in the meantime, she done crept back in the damn house. You know, she come in, of course. You know, the little boy has never seen her outside of seeing her in the clown uniform. So when she first walk in, he's like, well, who the heck are you? And she's like, I'm Kobe. And she's telling him, you know, I want to help you. I'm here for you. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to run away. I want to take you with me and be able to take care of you because I did promise you I was going to be your mommy. And like, you know, she keeping her promise and daddy ain't well and all this stuff. I said, girl, really? What is you doing? Now, you had me till you came here and did this. You know, she don't want to leave without him. And then he's saying, and where's the other girls? She gonna tell on them too. Like, oh, they ran. You ain't have to tell this little boy a damn thing. So the next thing you know, she reaching her hand out to him, and he was like, I'm sorry. And she looking like, sorry for what? He done damn tased her. You know, and then we get back to the two that's running. And big girl let me down, honey. Big girl let me down. She's sitting here, area, don't leave me, don't leave me. Every minute she keep freaking falling and shit. I'm like, girl, shut up. First of all, you mad loud. You letting them know where you at. Just as I said that, Ariel getting shot because she's so busy trying to turn around to get ready to try to kill her with a damn rock. And of course, the other girl ended up getting killed too. And then the next thing you know, we got Kobe on the table. They telling her, congratulations, honey. And got some type of machine that's about to turn her into a living damn doll. He's saying, you know, she won the contest for the simple fact that even though she tried to run away, she did still come back and try to help, you know what I'm saying, his son. So he have to commend her for that. And of course, the other two are out now. And he was saying that he has some type of metal piece that was in the dolls that like vibrates. And it lets him hear sound. So he had heard some of her playing, but not everything. But, you know, he was deeply moved that she came to try to protect his son. That says a lot. So he was like, he's going to make her perfect. So he started having this machine going and she's screaming or whatever. And like I said, he basically covers her in damn plastic and turns her to a doll. You know, she yelling and screaming and the little boy looking scared or whatever. So then when they show her again, she there fixing them a meal. And the little boy is like, you know, he wish she would talk more. And the father talking about some, oh, well, we got to give her time. You know, she got to get used to this. She's had a troubling couple days. All right. And so, you know, she'll be talking more sooner or later. Right. She's had a stressful week. And so the next thing we know, as she's pouring him some tea, we see the cup get thrown in the air. So I'm like, yes, Kobe, fight, girl. But come to find out, this ain't Kobe, honey. Some other witches done came in and stepped up and said, you know what I'm saying, you playing around too much, honey. And he was like, who are you? Why are you in my house? And he tried to put Eustace on them, and then they went like this. And Eustace couldn't move. They was like, he can't move. And then when he stood up, they was like, you can't move either. I said, okay, come through, witches. And they was like telling her, you don't need to be afraid no more, Kobe, okay? We sensed your spell, but it was so light. That's why it took us a little long to get here, whatever the case may be. And she was like, spell? And they was like, yeah, you one of us. And so, you know, here go Otis talking about, don't leave me here, honey. I was tempted to be like, nah, leave his ass. But she was nicer than me. She grabbed his hand and they all go to walk out. But one of the witches stopped and was like, poof. And basically, you know, Van Witt and Eustace got set on fire. And so did the whole dollhouse. So I said, oh, okay, come through. All right, I'm here for it. So the next thing you know, they get outside of this academy or whatever, right? This building, the bus stops there, and she's telling, you know, Otis, you're gonna have to find a new name. You're gonna tell them that you always been here. You know, you basically was here for a long time. Excuse me, y'all, 1 minute. I'm sorry, my mouth be getting dry, and then it's so hot in my room right now. But nonetheless, you know, she tells him, you gonna say you been here, your father been here, you know, it's a long line. What's your middle name? You probably could use that because they may be looking for that person that had the other name. So he says Spaulding. So my son was right. I said, oh, Spaulding. Then Myrtle come running out with her red hair as a little girl talking about, I'm Myrtle. I said, I see what y'all did there. This is cute. This is cute. You know. So she tell him it's nice meeting somebody her own age, and she's hoping to run the place one day. And they go walking in, and Kobe basically walks in behind them, and then we see that this is the academy. And that basically was the end of the episode, y'all. So what y'all think about this so far as the first episode, all right? Put it in the comments. Let's discuss, all right? Like, comment, share, subscribe. Till next time, toodaloo.